with me having to relearn, reprocess, rethink what sex was, that was like taking a part of my identity away.
Just because you may need to seek help or you may be in transition and things may not be right, it doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is bad.
Marriage is a roller coaster ride that never ends.
From the twists of having children, to the turns of overly involved parents, or the highs of buying a new home, to the lows of unexpected lifestyle changes.
Marriage is dope, but let's be honest, fam. Marriage really be tiring.
Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast, hosted by Jazz and Spoon.
Yo, what's good, y'all?
Hey, y'all.
It is the Left Hand Gang.
What's up?
The gang.
Hey,
Hey,
what's good?
you tell me, girl. Hey, you fine.
Stay focused.
I am. I'm focused.
Now we gotta start over.
No, we don't. Oh, man. So, man, we appreciate y'all who've been showing us love up to this point, man. It's been crazy. It's just been so, man, surreal to see the love that you guys have been showing us on IG, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube,
Thank you
Apple,
so much.
like everything, man. The comments, man, just everything. We just love y'all so much, man.
Thank
We just
you.
encourage y'all to continue sharing, man, sharing with your people.
Yeah.
You know, sharing with your communities, your groups, whoever, man. Because we just out here trying to do the Lord's work. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, how have you been feeling with, you know, the comments, the feedback, and everything that we've been getting?
It's definitely strengthening my faith. Like, I'm just appreciative, you know, like I'm very grateful for people seeing, not us, but seeing the work that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, yeah, like this is my time to shine, you know, like, or we out here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if anything, if you know me, you like, I'm out here. But I'm feeling very encouraged. My faith is strengthened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just excited because I've already said, like, I'm excited to do what God has placed inside of us, and I'm excited to do it alongside of my best friend. You know, like I'm really excited to walk out this thing with you, and I'm appreciative. My heart is full from people sharing and commenting and encouraging us and believing in the work that we're doing. I'm ready.
That's good. I love it too. Yeah, so y'all just keep showing us mad love. And so what we wanted to do today was just give y'all a, I guess, kind of sort of a backdrop, really, of who he is and what we,
Not who he is.
yeah, who he is and what we're looking to do. You know, give y'all our story and whatnot. So, man, how far back do you want to go?
I mean, let's take it back to, let's see, what year was that? 2015?
I think so. I think it was maybe
Let's go
15.
back to let's go back to 2013.
Okay, let's do it. 13.
Do you know what's in 13?
What was in 13?
When we met?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, twice, by the way.
Yeah.
There's some conflicting stories. You share yours.
Okay, so there's two ways that we met, or two different times that we officially met.
Yeah.
The true version that I'm going to share with you about how we met
True version.
is when I transferred to Tech. So I got my my associates at a junior college here in Dallas, Texas. Transferred to Lubbock, and that was 2013 fall. And my friend, you know, like the week before school starts, you know, like you're going to all the events, right?
Welcome week.
Welcome week is in full effect. And so I knew one person, and I actually hadn't talked to her in like years. So she took me to show me around, and we went to this house party that wasn't technically at a house. It was actually at the clubhouse of the apartment complex.
The cottages.
But if you've been to college, and you know what that's like. Cottages, which is probably called something now.
Yeah, probably something different now.
And it was a party, and DJ Spoon, first of all, this is DJ Spoon in the flesh, guys. He is a legend in Lubbock, Texas for our generation. He DJ'd pretty much everything. He's not gonna toot his own horn, but like he DJ'd like every college party there was. And if DJ Spoon was a DJ in it, then you didn't want to be there because it's like, who is that, right? Like, and this was like the one time he was not DJing. Like normally he was always in the DJ booth, but he was not DJing. And I was like sitting down and talking to my friend or whatever. And he came around and they knew each other. So they were like talking. She introduced us. Me and Spoon that's who he used to be to me. We got to know each other and we're just vibing over music. Like I didn't really know he was a DJ. I just knew I liked music. And then we started talking about music and I found out he was a DJ. And then, it was just good convo at that point. So that's how we actually met.
Well, my version happened before her version because there was an event on campus that the Deltas hosted. They hosted like a speed dating situation or whatever on campus,
which I do remember going to.
And so her friend Ashley, she was there. She showed up with Jazz, and I didn't know who Jazz was. She was new. She just transferred. And so I remember specifically meeting her at the event because I DJ'd a little bit, but I also was like participating in the speed dating situation or whatever. Now, I wasn't like out here looking for somebody to date, but sometimes at these events, they be low on numbers. So
right.
So I participated.
Let me just say, I don't think anybody was out there looking for love.
On the cool.
Like I don't think anybody really was. Like I know I wasn't because I actually was in a relationship.
Right, and so was I.
So I was just there to just like
meet people because you were new.
I didn't know anybody.
Exactly, and so I remember, us, how they had to set up. The guys had to get up and rotate. I'm pretty sure that's pretty standard in speed dating events. But so I remember rotating and getting to Jazz and sitting across from her. Now, I don't remember what exactly was said in the conversation. However, I do remember meeting you there.
I'm not saying he wasn't there, y'all. I'm just saying I don't think he sat across from me. That's all I'm saying. Because I was there. He said he was there. I don't think he got to me. Like I don't know. Like I just don't remember.
Whose memory's better? Mine or yours? Hell is hot.
I have no rebuttal because that was a really good one.
I know it was. So anyways, we met twice. Met twice. But from that point on, and I mean, I don't know, you can go take it from here. Like what kind of like transpired from that point? Those points.
Those points. Well, like we mentioned, like he was in a long distance relationship and so was I, and we had been in relationships for like a couple years.
Yeah.
And we just really vibed on the fact that we were both in long distance relationships. And if you're in college and you're in a long distance relationship, like nobody understands that life and everybody thinks you either cheating or you crazy or both.
Or both.
Like, so we were the only two that really understood one another, and we just kicked it off of that. Like he was just down to earth and I was down to earth, I guess. And sometimes we would meet for food or like just around campus, like events, we would always catch up there. Like it was really just legit friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I really love that I can boast about. I know you shouldn't boast about anything, but I think it's really dope that I can say, like, even though we were dating other people and we were hanging out, we didn't hang out like all the time, but like even though we were hanging out, no lines were ever crossed and we were not checking for each other.
Not
like
at all.
I was literally, this is a whole other episode, but like I thought I was marrying somebody else. Like I'm just gonna be real. Yes.
Same.
Because I was actually supposed
You're
to
gonna go with me to go look at rings.
Yes, for his girlfriend. Like we were not at all like looking for each other, crossing any boundaries or anything like that. And so we just were like good friends for a good while. So I would say 2013 all the way up until what was that, 2015?
15, maybe 16.
Dun, dun, dun. Dramatic music.
Man.
What happened in 2015? Fall of 2015?
Ooh, fall 15, man.
Oh my God.
It was so rough, man. Long story short.
Y'all know those.
Man.
Those heartbreaks, man.
Yeah, your boy I got flat out dumped. I got dumped.
In what was that, like October?
Yeah, it was like
October?
September, October. And, this is no slight or anything, but I was really like, I knew that I was gonna marry this chick. I was gonna marry this girl. Like, yeah, I mean, I had it, you know, like I said, me and Jazz was finna go look at rings. My pops came down. We were looking at rings, and like we was finna make this thing happen. But um, but the Lord had other plans, and it's not. And to clarify, it wasn't anything where somebody cheated on somebody or abuse or anything like that. So I'm going to clear that up. It wasn't anything like that, but it was legitimate. Two people had grown apart, and two people had different ideas and different perspectives on what the future should look like in the relationship. And I mean, it sucked because I spent like 3 years with this person, 3 years of my life with this person. And so, yeah, your boy I got dumped, and then Jazz.
Yeah, a month or 2 months later, I got dumped, y'all. I know. Like,
Yeah.
it was not connected at all. Like, I literally was like trying to be a good friend and be there for him, like I
Right.
still got mine. But like, so I thought, but like, it's gonna be okay, you'll find love.
Yep,
And
that's
then same thing. Like, it wasn't even like cheating, it wasn't anything like that. It was just we were in two different places, physically and spiritually and mentally, and the person I was with had a lot going on, and it just wasn't a good time. Timing wasn't a good time for us, and so we broke up. And so then at that point it was like, dang, like we out here
Dang, bro.
together, heartbroken. Yeah.
Whew.
Then
Yeah, and then y'all know we're gonna keep it a buck with y'all. We started cutting up.
I mean,
We started cutting
you
up.
single, I'm single.
I'm single, you single. My heart broke, your heart broke. I confided in you, you confided in me, and we confided.
I didn't like that.
Well,
that extra the preacher.
I'm sorry, and yeah, we confided frequently.
We were exclusively friends with benefits.
Yeah. That's a pretty way of putting a bow on it. Exclusively friends with benefits.
Yeah, we didn't want to be in a relationship with each other.
Yeah, or anybody else.
Yeah, let that be known. Yeah.
Yeah, God. And so that was, people trip me out whenever they be like, I enjoy doing some stuff, but fam, we had fun doing confiding. We had fun confiding.
I'm bad at this confiding word that you didn't use.
It was terrible. Oh,
Yeah.
It was bad. It really wasn't bad. And so, but we reached a point in our confiding where it was like, I think I actually might like you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, you cute, you nice to me, but I don't know. I remember how good of a friend you were, and so I think I may want to keep you around.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you?
That was really hard because you said it very well. Like, I felt like I was starting to like you, and I was like, but nah, like I don't like him. Like, I like him, but I don't like him. Like, that's how I felt. And it was like I wanted you to stay as a friend in the friend zone.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out to Peyton right now, because I was very adamant that like you were just a friend that like I think I liked, but you were still just a friend. Like, you were good people, And she was like, you gonna marry that boy? I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, marry?
Marry.
Like, first of all, the person I was gonna marry just broke my heart. And so I ain't marrying nobody, but I was like, marry him? No, we're friends. Like, that was just like a complete like crazy idea. And I remember when things started to shift, and it was like, no, you do really like him, because like when you started talking to other people, it bothered me.
Yeah.
And same thing for you. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to lose my friend if a relationship doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And that was hard for us too. And I remember us sitting down talking about it, and we were so like, the thinkers that you and I are, you know, and we're such planners and stuff, that we were like, okay, so, you know, if we do this and things don't work out, you know, like it was just like we were trying to orchestrate everything like little puppets. And we decided to date. And that was so awkward.
It was very awkward.
It was so awkward, y'all. It was like we were like borderline, write it on a piece of paper, check yes or no. Do you want to be my boyfriend or a girlfriend? Like, it was so awkward. And we were like, do we hold hands?
Like do we tell people? Do we not? And it was also, you know, weird because we basically would be putting a label on what we're already acting like anyways.
Yes.
Because, you know, again, we were already confiding. You know, we were good friends, you know, and we took care of each other. We covered things and we were there, family stuff. I mean, we were already doing that stuff anyways. But it was like, wait, if we slap this label on this, it's like Facebook official.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. People don't really rock with Facebook no more.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean,
you still old.
Well, you got to remember, this was like 2015, 16.
Yeah. You're
so,
right. But I was trying to help people understand, like back then.
Yeah. So if it was like Facebook official, then it's like everybody knows now. So it's kind of like, it was weird. And again, you know, like she was saying, we didn't want it to mess up our friendship, even though our confiding messed up the friendship anyways.
Right.
But we were just too immature in our minds and our thinking to even bring that up.
And we were not technically, like, we were exclusive, but we were exclusive behind doors.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in college know what that means. Like,
oh, yeah.
You talk to like probably like 8 different people, but don't nobody know
but y'all.
Like, even if you didn't have sex, like, you just like, it was like you just didn't put it out there, you know? And so that was another thing. It was like, once we like say we're dating, then it's like everybody's gonna know in a sense. And not everybody knew of our friendship. Like, you know, people knew that we were friends, that were the people that were close to us in our circle, but like outside of that, you know, people didn't really know. And I also was thinking, like, that shows you the power of sex.
Oh yeah.
Because we were quick to have sex with one another. That was fine. You know, like, I'll spend a night at your house, you spend a night at my house, but like, oh no, we don't want a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, vulnerability, like, I mean, we were not willing to like let down true guards and really be vulnerable with one another. We didn't truly know what intimacy was.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really understand love, if you want to be real. It was just like, I care a lot about you.
Yeah.
You care a lot about me. But yeah,
that label thing.
Nah, like, I gotta keep it in this little box that I can contain.
Yep.
And so, yeah, after what, I don't know if it was a day or a week or what, but like, we dated and it was awkward. And I remember even saying, my cheesy self, I was like, do we hold hands? Because we weren't doing that before.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do we do differently, you know? So then we had to have like a real sit down, because we thought, oh my gosh, we ruined our friendship.
Yeah, we were like,
this is why we didn't want to do it. And we sat down, we talked about it, and we were like, yo, we just be ourselves. And if we hold hands, I think you said, like, if we end up holding hands, cool. If not, like, it's fine, you know?
Yeah, this sound corny, don't it?
We sound like we're 12. Yeah. And from there, it was like literally a switch. Right after that, it was like, okay, cool.
All right, we good.
Like, you my boyfriend.
Yeah, and you my girlfriend.
And yeah.
And then that was it. And so from that point, what was that? That was like 2016?
Yeah, because that was when I was starting my first year of teaching.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had just graduated.
So yeah, I want to say that was like September 2016. And then from that point, oh my God. You know, we hit another thing where we started to grow in our faith. We started to grow in our relationship with God. And it reached a point where the confiding had to come to an end.
You holding on to that, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's my new word, confiding. But, you know, the sex, it had to come to an end. It had to.
Yeah.
And I tell y'all, it's funny how God works, because I knew, okay, I knew before I started to feel convicted that we needed to, not be doing it. I knew before I was even dating Jazz, before I even met Jazz, that it was wrong and I shouldn't have been doing it. So it didn't just pop up in my head one day, hey, you need to quit having sex. I already knew. But me knowing started to become even more weightier on me. I started to feel it even more, and I started to feel even more convicted because I was growing in my relationship with God. And so, I felt even more convicted at one point in time, and Jazz was like, "Hey, there's this dude by the name of Michael Todd. He got this series out called Relationship Goals." Now, y'all gotta remember this 2016, 17. So like that was
16?
yeah, it was like maybe it was 17.
I think it was like 17.
Yeah, it was back then. But that was back
Maybe.
when it was fresh off the press. Like everybody was starting to really get on
Yeah.
and get onto that series and that he preached. And which one was it that got you?
It was Sex in a Container.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to do a whole episode on that too. Actually, I think we have something
Yeah,
out already
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, so I was really convicted. Y'all know that conviction when it's like, oh God, whatever you say. You know what I mean? Like it's like whatever you want me to do, I am going to do it. And even if that meant like break up with dude, like I was like, that's where I was. Like what I didn't like, my relationship and my obedience to God weighed way more than what Lorraine thought and how I felt. Like none of those things mattered. And so I remember it was really hard for me to figure out how to talk to him about it. But yeah, we ended up talking about it and he was like, yeah, God already told me to. And I was like, oh, okay. Actually, no, I think you came to me first.
Yeah.
Because I was like, God, how do I bring this up? How do I talk to him about it? And I had been praying and he came to me and was like, yeah, so I don't think we need to have sex anymore. And I was like, oh, well, God told me that too. Great. Glad we're on the same page.
Man.
And so that led us on a beautiful, difficult, but beautiful and so worth it journey of abstinence or celibacy.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Man, well, there's a difference,
There is a
but
difference,
it don't make. Y'all Google it. Y'all go do your homework.
And then I think so. Shout out to Koala Mitra Chapman.
Hey, Koala, so
Love
wigged out.
you so much.
That's my dog
so
right
wigged
there.
out. She makes custom wigs, y'all. She do all the her stuff. She does all the TikTok stuff too.
Yeah, that's your free ad right here, sis.
She's dope. And she was my hairstylist at the time. He plugged me in with her. And I remember she was doing my hair and she was like, when she found out that we had stopped having sex, she was like, I remember she kind of like didn't turn my head, but she like came around to the side and she was like, oh yeah, it ain't gonna be long now. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, she kind of like giggled and she like paused for a long time and she was like, let's just say they can't go that long without sex. So he know he want to marry you and he gonna marry you now. And I was like, like I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was just like, we're just being obedient to God. Like that, it's just what Jesus told us to do. And, and it's the right thing for all these reasons. And that stuck with me. And she was right because I can't remember. I used to have the my memory's not the best. Surprise. Yes, I know. I used to have it down. I used to know like how many months prior to him proposing it was, but I know it was within 3 months that she told me that. And then you popped the question.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Yeah, and like to dig into that just for like 2 seconds. Like she had been praying and God had been talking to me about this whole sex thing. And I had to make it up in my mind that I was going to get a jump on it first and say something rather than leaving it up to her. Obviously, I didn't know that she was feeling the way that she was feeling, but for her to come to me and like, that's my job as a man, because that was a defining moment for our relationship. And it gave her a sense of relief. and secure, gave her a sense of security. And so she didn't have to carry the weight of this, at the time, very, very big decision. Because that was a very big decision, because you didn't know what that was going to bring. And so, us as men, I just want to preach to y'all for 2 seconds.
Nah.
Us as men, we have opportunities to take things and to grab the situation by the horns, and to really cause change to happen in our houses, because God will speak to you if you allow him to, but it's up to you to move in that conviction. And conviction isn't something that just makes you feel bad, but a conviction is more so like a burden that you feel, a charge that you feel, something that pulls on you.
It's not shame.
It's not shame. It's not condemnation, but you feel like, I gotta do something. I gotta say something. I gotta step up. I gotta do whatever it is. And so I felt that conviction. I was aware of what we were doing, how we had been living. And so I had to make up a decision. I got to step up and say something, because I actually do care about her a lot. I really do. And I care about her just as much as I care about myself. And so I have to say something. And in me saying that, it gave me the power that I didn't even know that I needed over sex, because I said it first, because I brought it up first. Because from that moment on, up until we got married, what was it, 18 months?
I don't know. You know the exact.
18 months, a year and a half. We went and we were celibate. We were abstinent. We didn't have sex or anything. However,
even
go ahead.
like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like, that's not even like nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, nothing.
We couldn't even like make out.
Yeah, it changed everything.
We nobody, like, not even seeing one another. Excuse me, not even seeing the other person like half naked or anything like that. I think we went swimming one time with our friends, and that was like, excuse me, that was like the one time I had saw you, and I was like, his skin, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I did, and I wasn't like, it wasn't distracting or anything. It was just like, wow, I just hadn't seen, like, had not changed in front of each other, like nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, we were
nothing.
changing in the closet. I forgot about that.
We were changing clothes in the closet.
Oh my gosh.
And we were fortunate enough to have 2 showers, 2 bathrooms.
So we, like when we say nothing, and we moved in together during that time. We were living separately. I don't know how long, but we did end up moving in together.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But sorry. Go back to where you were.
But no, you're good, because we had to learn, like, we created boundaries.
Yes.
So as we got closer, we built up even stronger boundaries, because we understood, we made this vow not only to God but to one another. And so we don't want to do anything that's going to cause us to cross that line. Now, I don't know. There may be some preachers who may be listening to this and say, no, y'all shacking up and blah, 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 blah. Shacking up is not even in the Bible.
It's not.
It's not biblical. It's not scriptural. But, they like to say things like, well, the Bible says flee from sin and blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you want to flee from sin, turn off your music. Just do that. So I had to get that off. Anyways, in that 18 months, I was delivered from pornography. Because that was something that had me, had your boy held hostage for a while. And I didn't even know, it was that strong on me. I didn't know I had that stronghold on me. But the reason why I was able to overcome that was because I took the power of sex and I controlled it whenever I made the decision to say, hey, we need to stop having sex. We need to stop doing this. It's not right, and I don't think we should be doing it anyways. So I was able to be delivered from that. And I'm like, I actually got I got mind control over Debo. I do. And that changed how I saw her. It changed my expectations of her. Whether y'all believe it or not, pornography does have a way of influencing your thoughts, perspectives, education, expectations of sex. Point blank, period. And I'll just kind of put a pin in it right there. So, I was changed, delivered, and it changed how I saw her. Our conversations were different. We had to, there was just so much that we learned about each other and about ourselves in that.
Yeah, we were forced to find intimacy in a new way, and it was really beautiful. It was a very hard thing. We're not gonna sit here and say it was the easiest thing we've ever done. It was very challenging, emotionally and physically, but it was so rewarding.
Yeah.
So we went through that, and Lorian proposed at church, the best place ever.
Of course.
With all of my friends and our friends, and family there on April 29th, 2018. Yeah, 2018. And we got married July 13th, 2019. And so we planned our wedding for a little over a year. And we have been married since.
Yeah. 3 years.
Yeah. 3 years. We celebrated this past July, and we also had a son this year.
Yeah.
April 20th of this year, of 2022 to be exact.
King Kai. That's my dog, man.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
So that's our story. We don't come before you perfect. We don't come before you knowing all the tools and gems and tricks to marriage. Nah. But we do come to you because God gave us Left Hand Gang when we were dating, I believe. I don't think we had even gotten engaged yet. And I don't remember how God gave it to, I think Lorian said it, but we was just like, yo.
Left Hand Gang.
Yo. I rocks with that heavy. And I think as soon as we got married, it was just like this, we just have this passion for married couples.
Man.
We are always desiring to do double dates, triple dates, whatever, to pray with other couples, to just we just have a burden.
Yeah.
It's just this thing that it draws on both of us. And I know that that's of God, that we have a heart for marriages. And we're finally walking out what God gave us over 3 years ago.
Yeah. And it's wild to even think about. Just man, because, and I can echo everything that she said, we just care so much, so much for marriages. Because the world, man, has just taken, the purpose of marriage, the institution of marriage that God created, and has turned it into things it's a business deal.
Yeah.
Or I need to marry this person so I could gain access to this, or for financial gain. Whatever it is. Or people feeling like they are forced even to get into certain marriages for whatever the case may be.
And just, I would even say for the beauty of the wedding.
Man.
For the beauty of a white dress or a dream
wedding. Do you want to spend
wedding.
the next 45 minutes?
We're not going to go there.
Okay.
I just wanted to put it out there as another example of how marriage has just been dogged, man.
Man. That's a pretty good way to put it.
And the word submission has just been drugged through the dirt.
And love too.
Love has been drugged through the dirt. Dating is like I've heard so many people say the streets is not for me. Dating now it is horrible. It's scary. It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And because of that, people aren't even getting to the married stage that desire to.
Yeah.
And not everybody is supposed to be married. Not everybody wants to be, and you don't have to.
Right.
We talked about that in another episode, but I believe that there are more people who truly would want to if they saw what a true marriage is supposed to look like. And I believe that, there are also married couples who are married and are just winging it.
Yeah.
Or they don't have like outlets. They don't have anybody else pouring into them. So they're doing the best that they can. And maybe one person's unfulfilled and they're like, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Because I don't have nobody to talk to, but like, maybe it's me, there are endless scenarios, but that's
man.
That
That's
scary.
man, we just care because at the end of the day, marriage is the image of God.
It's the image
It
of
is
God.
the image of God.
We are supposed to reflect.
That's it. And we got to be asking ourselves a question. Does my marriage reflect the image of God? Now, I didn't say, what's my marriage? Is my marriage perfect?
Mm-mm.
Is my marriage looking like so-and-so's?
No, you didn't say that.
But does my marriage reflect the image of God? Does my marriage reflect grace? My husband or my wife, they had a bad day and they lashed out at me. Did I show them grace because I knew the day that they had? My spouse, I communicated this 5 times. We went over the plan. We walked through it. I reminded them of it 2 weeks in advance. I reminded them again the day before. I reminded them again 15 minutes beforehand, and they still got it wrong. Does your response reflect grace? Does it reflect the image of God? Not perfection, but grace.
That's really good.
Because it is our job when we come together and we have children is to create another reflection of God and teach that reflection, raise that reflection up, to marry another reflection, to come together and make another reflection.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. And so a lot of us, we've gotten married without the right tools, without the right resources. A lot of people got married, like you said, because of what they see on the gram. And like, the marriage is more important than the wedding. Yes. The marriage is only going to be, the wedding is only going to be 6-7 hours. 8 hours if you include makeup, hair, and nails. When that day is over, you are not going to stay married to the person that was at the altar.
No, that's so good.
Like, that person is not going to be the same in 10 years. They're going to either put on some pounds, lost some pounds, career change, mine in a different state. Y'all may have kids, multiple, like things that you cared about then, you probably won't be caring about 10 years from now. So you're marrying somebody not for the person that's at the altar, but for the person that's 10 years from then, 15 years from then, forever from then. That's the person that you're marrying. And in order for them to be who God has called for them to be, they need you and you need them. It's impossible for y'all to make it to wherever it is that God has called for y'all to be apart from one another. That's why God has called the man to be the head and the woman to be the help. Help not meaning lesser, help not meaning less than, help meaning I can't do it without your help. I need your help.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's what marriage is. That's how we reflect the image of God.
Yeah. And you said some really good things. I was thinking about how, like, when you said people want to get married because of what they see on the gram, and people don't want to get married because of what they see on the gram.
Yeah.
And what you don't know is what really happens behind closed doors. Because like you can't, it's just like a person's life. Like what you see on Facebook and Instagram, like that's not their marriage.
Not at all.
You know, like that's not the entirety of their marriage. Just like that's not the entirety of that person's life that you saw. What happens behind closed doors is what matters. And that's what we want to talk about is what does it look like in our life? What have we learned? What are we learning? You know, like we want to be real with y'all about marriage is beautiful, but marriage is work. And I cannot come to my marriage critiquing my husband and looking at all the things that he needs to fix. One thing I learned very early on, I believe it was, I can't remember his wife's name, Pastor Furtick.
Stephen Furtick?
Yeah, Stephen Furtick.
Holly.
Holly Furtick had some women's wives thing. I don't know. It was years ago. And the only thing, I didn't finish the course, y'all, but the one thing that I remember from the course, it was a lot. It was really great, but it was a lot. And I was just not in a place where I could do it. And I knew it, but I still signed up.
And it's okay. You got what you needed.
I got one thing.
You got this thing you finna share. Give it to him.
And she said, you cannot change your spouse. You can only change you. And you can only work on you. And she was like, I know it sounds backwards, but I think she gave some like example, like, you know, if he came in and he did not, you know, help with the dishes or help with the kids or put the kids in bed or whatever it was that you wanted him to do, worry about yourself. That means check your heart posture. Am I going to like go pop off about it? Am I going to effectively communicate about it? You know, because how I respond says more about me than it does what he did. You know, like, am I still reflecting Christ? And did I go to God in prayer about it? Did I even articulate to my husband that was something that I wanted? You know, like there's so many different things to look at that still point back to Jasmine. And so that was the biggest thing that I've learned is like, worry about yourself. Like, worry about your own, what you need to work on, because that's not saying that, you know, my husband's perfect and that I can never give him advice or whatever. But I think sometimes we get so focused and consumed, especially as women, you know, critiquing and telling you that we become a mom to you. Like, you know, I asked you to do this, or, you know, you still haven't done this. Are you going to blah, blah, blah? You know, like I'm mad because da-da-da-da. And it's like, but what are the things that you need to work on? Because sis, you're not perfect. Because if my husband came to me and was like, I told you, da-da-da-da, remember I said, like, even if he just almost sounded like he had an attitude, like I would be sad. Like my feelings big broke because I would be like, how could you, you know, he didn't raise his voice, but like I would just be shattered, you know? So I have to be careful about how I come to him because I want that same respect. And so I said all that to say that marriage is work and it is a beautiful thing, but it is not just the glamorous wedding. It is not just the cute family photos. And it is not just, and it's not arguing and evil either. It's a beautiful service to each other. And
that's it. It's
a beautiful, like, love with God that is just like constantly evolving. Like you change, you grow, and to be able to do that with someone, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, man, that's so good, baby. Whew. You preached.
You preached.
You preached, girl. All right, y'all. We're going to get ready to take up an offering.
Shut up.
We're going to pass the collection plate. Deacon Jenkins. Oh, my goodness. So, y'all, man, the Left Hand Gang. That's what we about.
Left Hand Gang.
That's it, man. We're just going to talk about godly marriage. Not perfect marriages. We're just going to talk about godly marriage.
That's it.
Because, to be honest, marriage is hard.
Yes.
It be tiring. But it's fun. And it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, marriage, and I'll end with this. Marriage is a mirror. If you want to see how strong your marriage is, if you want to see how good your marriage is, look at yourself. Look at yourself. If you want to see how you measure up, how good you're doing, or how good your marriage is doing, look at yourself. If you want to see how you're doing, look at your marriage. It's a mirror. Because it's a shame We have husbands killing it at work, but are trash at home. It is a shame that we have mothers who are, or women or wives who are killing it at being entrepreneurs, but are terrible at serving and creating a safe space or a peaceful home for a husband. And if you're good outside of your marriage and you suck at home, then you suck as a person.
Dang.
Yeah, that was very strong, very intentional. But if you are trash at home, despite being good everywhere else in your businesses and being an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. But if you're trash at home, then you're just straight trash. Because the people who need you the most are depending on you, and you're
That's
not
your
there.
first ministry.
Your house, your marriage, your kids, your home is your first ministry. And it's that simple.
Yeah. All right, baby, get up. Come on back.
Oh yeah, I got off. Well, you want to close us out?
You was about to preach and take us into another message. You talking about me?
I know. That was just on my heart. I had to get it.
You had to call them folks.
I had to get that to
You
the
had to
people.
call them trash and sorry
Oh yeah, I did.
and suck.
I did.
It's all love though. It's all love.
That's the left hand game. We're gonna keep it a buck with y'all.
Hey,
We
love y'all though.
We do.
And don't y'all worry, the Lord be whooping us too.
Yeah, because y'all didn't see, how we had a moment like right before, off camera before, See, they didn't know that you was fussing at me last week about Kai and stuff. See,
I don't even know which event you're referring to.
see,
And
that's
I'm not
how
denying
that's
it.
how many of them that
Exactly.
there are.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, you good? You got everything off your chest?
I think I did. I got a little more than I thought I needed to.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know I was stirred like that, baby. Stirred.
Man, thank y'all so much for tapping in with us.
Yeah.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man, and just continue to share all that good stuff. Yo, slide in the DMs. Y'all let us know some things that y'all want us to talk about, dive into.
Yeah.
Because, this ain't just for us. We're just the ones that God decided to use. So, we here for it. We here for it.
Right.
So, we love y'all. We thank y'all so much. Y'all be easy. Peace. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and rate us.
And lastly, please don't forget to check out our website. That's lefthandgang.co for merch and ways to stay connected.
Catch you next episode.
Gang.